Hello and welcome to another edition of Classic Creativity. In this video we're going to be gridding out this paper, so you're going to need a ruler and a white color pencil. And we want to make 2-inch squares on this paper, because what we're going to do is we're going to copy from another sheet with just 1-inch squares. And at the end we'll be copying square by square. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you find that 0, not the end of the ruler but the 0. You want to place that the very left side of your paper, and you're going to make a mark at every 2 inches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now, because this ruler is not as long as the paper, what you're going to have to do is slide the ruler over from the 10-inch mark to the last mark you made, right there, and then just make a mark at the 12. You're going to slide the ruler up. Don't turn the ruler, just slide it up to the top. Same thing, give yourself a little bit of space at the top of the paper to make those marks. Make sure that the 0 is lined up with the left hand side of the paper. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And here's the 10-inch mark. You're going to slide that over to the last mark we made. Make a mark on that 12 again. Now we're going to turn the paper, and you are going to do the same thing. Make sure that that 0 is at the left hand side of the paper so it's lined up and measured correctly. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you're going to slide that down to the bottom. And do the same thing here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And because the ruler's not long enough to make lines going from here to here, we're going to make another set of lines, of marks. Just go a couple marks up, line the ruler up with both marks you made, make sure that 0 is at the left hand side, and you're going to make a mark at every 2 inches again. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to make lines across your paper while you line up that ruler with those marks. So remember what I said, we're not going to be able to make a straight line all the way across to the paper. That's why we made this middle mark. So line your paper up, or your ruler up, with both marks. And now you're able to just take this ruler, slide it over, and line up that last mark you made. So do this all the way through with these marks. Go all the way down, make sure you line up all these, and then turn your paper, or whichever way is comfortable for you to line your paper up. I'm left-handed, so you hold your ruler with the right hand. Make sure your pencil's make sure my pencil's on the left side of the ruler, so I'm not crossing over. You don't want to cross over your hand like this. And if I was right-handed, I would hold the ruler with my left hand. And stay on the right side of the ruler. So you're going to continue this all the way down until your paper looks like this. So there will be marks on the paper, or there's going to be the space on either the top or bottom of your paper that's a little bit smaller. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark it A, B, C, D, E, and then on the right side, or it could be on the left side, or your A, B, C, D, E could be on at the bottom of the paper. Anywhere you have those smaller rectangles, that's where you're going to put your numbers and your letters. And then you're going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, once you're done gridding, what you're going to do is you're going to take the sheet of paper that's already been gridded and numbered. And what I'm going to suggest is that you just look at the major shapes. I know that there's a lot of line, there's a lot of organic shape happening in here, but I just want you to look at the major shapes. So far, I could see a shape here. This one, there's like a little almost circular shape here, and then these other darker shapes. And the key to this is I'm going to be focusing on C4 and D4 for this one. So let's bring that camera down a little bit. You see what I'm talking about? Okay. So now we have our C4, which is right here, and it looks like there's just like this little tail coming out from there. But look where it goes in, just below that corner, come down a little bit, and then you bring it out. And then on the D4, it comes out to a point, comes down, and then back around right to that corner. Okay, so we got our first shape in. Now I'm going to focus on this shape right here. It's between number 3 and it's on the CD box, and a little bit goes up to the number 2 spot. So as you can see, this black shape right here, it comes out just a little bit on this 3D area, goes up to the 2D, and then comes into the C3 and then 2C. Okay. Now I know this picture looks a little bit intimidating because there's a lot of movement going on, but like I said, if you just stick to the numbers and letters in bigger shapes, you'll be okay. Now I just realized that I put this in the wrong spot. This is supposed to be dropped down here, and that's okay. All you have to do is go over it, erase your line a little bit. We are going to go over this with color, so it doesn't matter if those lines show through at all. But it's a good thing I caught it, because this shape is in row 3 and it goes between C and D columns. So I'm just going to redraw that down here. So you're just matching that shape. Now we're going to come over to the E column 2, where we see this, looks like a wind sail almost. this shape right here. It's almost triangular. So notice how it comes in. There's a little bit of the corner you can see through, so just make sure that it just cuts across that corner, comes up to a point, and comes back down. And I'm going on the number 2E. And this comes just a little bit to the left of the middle. Watch how it cuts across this corner. Got that little turn right there, that little curve, and then comes out to the D column. It'd also be a good idea, you do not have to go past into the column 1, or you don't have to go down to column or row 1 and row 7. We don't have to draw. Those are where we're going to stop there. So it'd also be a good idea just to kind of get this square shape in first. So notice how it's D2, or I'm sorry, E2, right up here, just a little bit above halfway and a little bit to the right of the halfway this square. So we would start it about right here and come over. And it goes all the way to the A. See the corner here? Goes to the A2. So that's what we're going to bring it to on this. A little bit past the halfway mark of this square, and then down. You want to bring that all the way down to 6A. That's A6. And I have a little mark here already. Bring that over. So now you're squared in. And then you can start working on all of these different shapes inside of here with your ruler. When you're finished, it's going to look a little something like that. Okay, so just all your basic shapes are in there. They're all drawn in. You're following that grid system and you're drawing them in each shape. And I've just looked at this one here. That one matches this. And then just start looking at these random other shapes and start putting them in there. This one is for this. We got some of these curved lines. Okay, and that's going to be the foundation of your drawing before we start adding value to it.